Hello, hello, and welcome to my tutorial today. Today we're going to be doing one of my favorite looks. It's a floral Sharpie watercolor kind of vibes look. Today I'm going to be using my little nail tip here. This is from Young Nails. It's a number 5. They're press-ons. We're going to be using Cuccio, and this one is 2 a.m. in Hollywood. It's black. Luxa gel color, white out. No Sanding Base Bio Seaweed Gel, and our Empowering Top Coat. You will also need some acetone or alcohol. I prefer to use acetone versus alcohol. Let's get into it. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to take my Luxa Whiteout, and I'm just going to do one coat here for the base. I'm going to apply it on nice and smoothly, nice and evenly. I love how absolutely opaque this color is. I mean, it is like whiteout. It covers everything. So we can get away with one coat here and have full coverage. Alrighty, now that that's done, I'm going to pop it in for 30 seconds to cure. Alright, so sorry, forgot to mention that you'll also need to use a few Sharpies. You can use the black gel polish for the accents we're going to do, or you can do it with a Sharpie. I think I'm going to do it with the Sharpie, even though I've already got some out, just to show you the way that you can do it with Sharpie. It makes it a little bit easier. You will also need an alcohol brush or acetone brush. This is the brush that I use. I just got it from Michael's, and it's the one that I really like to use when I'm working with alcohol and acetone. And then also, if you're going to be using the gel polish method for some of the accents, you will need a dotting tool. Okay, let's get right into it and get started. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the sticky layer with some acetone. Now that that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm just going to draw a rough sketch of the flowers that I want. These are really simple flowers. They're just big circle flowers. And I'm going to place them just like that. That's where I want my flowers to be. And now I'm going to take green and add the leaves. These are going to be so cute. And then I'll add another leaf there to fill in the space. All right, letting that set for just a couple of seconds. Now I'm going to take my alcohol brush and I'm going to gently, you can use a dappen dish and fill it with acetone or alcohol, or you can use a spongy top acetone bottle. It looks like this, where you can just gently press down and take some of the acetone off the top, which is what I just did. Once my brush is filled, I'm going to just gently start dabbing in the Sharpie to create a watercolor effect, getting it a little bit wetter each time. And depending on how opaque you want your color to be, you can either do more or less dabbing. It's completely up to you. I'm going around the edges a little bit more to create a little bit more dimension here. I grabbed some more acetone and I'm going to go into this one. And what's great about these flowers is they can be messy. They don't have to look perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and set for a second. And we've got purple in our brush here right now, so I'm just gonna take a little cotton wipe and wipe it off. See all that extra purple? That would have gone into our green had we just kept going. So now I'm going to cleanse out my little topper here, and then also cleanse out the brush one more time, making sure that it is completely clean. And then I'm going to go in with more acetone on my brush and just gently dab at the leaves 1 or 2 times to give them that watercolor finish that we're looking for. Ooh, so cute. I absolutely love and adore this look. Okay, now I'm going to go back into my purple again. First, I'm going to clean that. The sponge top. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called. And make sure my brush is clean, and I'm going to go in again on the purple just to adjust the colors where I want to. Really putting those lines where I want them to be. Again, this isn't a look that has to be perfect. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and add one more layer of purple I'm going to use this shade of purple here, making sure this is dry. I'm just going to put this in the center here. Just like that, just to give it a little bit more body. Okay, because I'm still working with purples, there's no need to clean off the brush. Just putting a little more acetone on my brush and dabbing it just like that. Giving it just a little bit more color, gives it just a little bit more depth, and we like depth. Beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna let this dry. You see the lines here? I don't exactly want all those lines right there. So I'm going in with my brush and I'm smudging them just a little bit to give it a different vibe. All right, so now I'm gonna let this dry just for a couple seconds, and I'm gonna go in with my base, my glitter base, and letting this dry just a little bit more. And I'm gonna go over it with one coat. Just so that when I go through with I'll show you both with the gel polish and the black Sharpie, the accents for these flowers. Now, when you're going through, you want to make sure that your Sharpie art is dried completely and that you're not going over it many times, because once you start going over it more than once or twice, then your Sharpie can start to bleed and run everywhere. It looks like we got a really good one here, so we're gonna cure this for 30 seconds. All right, now that that's cured, I'm gonna take my alcohol wipe here, acetone wipe, and clean off that inhibition layer so it's not sticky anymore. And I'll show you the gel polish technique for the accents here. You're just gonna need a dotting tool. You can use whichever side you want, depending on the size of dots that you're gonna put, and just put 3, 4, 5 dots in the center of your flower to give it just a little bit more depth. I usually like to do between 3 and 5, depending on the size of the flower. Just like that. And then you can cure it and top coat. I'm going to show you the second look. So I'm actually going to set my dotting tool aside, wipe that off before it's cured, and go in with Sharpie. I like the Sharpie accents more. I feel like I can just add more depth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Sharpie to add dark purple dots first in the center. And then I'll go over it with the lighter purple. Just don't want to look much like dots. There we go. I'll go over it with the lighter purple and just create kind of a little bit of cluster of different colors to indicate the center of the flower. Give it a little more detail than just adding that gel in there. And now we'll go in with the black and add just a few more to finish it off and give it that definition. Just like that. Hopefully you can see. Okay, I like how that turned out. I'm gonna let that dry for just a couple of seconds. Give it a little bit of air, and then I'm gonna go ahead and top coat it. We're gonna do this in a matte top coat today. A matte top coat instead of a gloss top coat, just so we can see how it looks. I really like the matte. This one is Matte Top Coat and Power by Luminary, one of my favorites right now. And I'm just gonna do a gentle, nice swipe over the top, just like that. Again, remembering to not go over it too many times because the Sharpie will run and smear a little bit. Okay, so I'm letting this set and settle just for a few seconds so that it can have a nice line of light. And then I'll pop that in for 60 seconds to cure. Okay, and here we have our finished nail. I absolutely love this color combination. I love the matte top coat. I love the way that it came out. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you decide to do the design in different colors or same colors, whatever it is, I love it all. Go ahead and tag me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to see how yours turned out. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.